So this is AI Camp info session, scholarship info session. Please turn on your camera, but mute yourself. Okay, we have lots of people coming in today. We have never hosted meeting in such a scale. So if we make any mistakes and stuff like that, we apologize first, but so glad to have everyone here. We have about 321. It's keep on climbing right now. Maybe I can have Mitch and Alex, maybe you can, and Sydney, you guys can help me, admit people. Yeah, but we have lots of people here. Let me ask you guys a question. How many of you are coming from the West Coast? If you're coming from the West Coast, could you raise your hand, please? Wow, okay, great. We got quite a few representations from West Coast. If you're coming from the East Coast, could you raise your hand? Anyone from the East Coast?
Now to our final pastor.
Okay, raise your hand if you're on East Coast. Okay, great.
The other leg out.
Again, mute yourself. Okay, mute yourself, please. Mute yourself, please. I'm gonna call a few people and say, hey, like which area you're from, and why you want to learn about AI. Okay, we're just gonna do a simple one first. So I see, for example, Shreya Dasari. Shreya, can you tell us which city and state you're from? Why you want to learn about AI?
I'm from Tampa, Florida, and I really want to learn AI. It's really interesting, and in school we also start learning Python.
Yeah, that's a great one. Yeah, welcome. If you know Python, this camp would be phenomenal for you. I also see Bobby King there. Bobby, can you talk about which city and state you're from and why you want to learn about AI?
Yeah, I'm from Utah, Draper, Utah. And I really like AI mainly because of the applications it has in our modern society.
Yeah, that's awesome. Can we give Bobby and Shreya a round of applause, guys? Thank you for answering these great questions. Okay, so listen, guys. AI Camp is all about interactions, okay? Interactive learning. So I'm asking you all these questions and you're participating. This is one of the best audiences I ever had. 300, 400 people, oh my gosh. And we can do this together. That's phenomenal. All right, that's awesome. All right, so let's do the following. I wanna introduce you our dear head of admission, Sydney Harris. Sydney, can you talk about, can you take it from here? I can share a screen. You can introduce yourself. Doesn't matter. We're just gonna make this a conversation. Let me know how can I help. Yeah.
Absolutely, sure. You can go ahead and start the slide deck, Michael. Hello, everyone. Yep. Welcome to the Scholarship 2022 AI Camp Scholarship Info Session. And I am Sydney Harris. I'm the Director of Admissions here. And the fellow that you guys were just chatting with is our founder, Michael Zhang. And Michael will have a lot more to talk to you guys about, but I did want to just jump on, welcome you all here. I see it's lots of families as well as students here. We love to see that, very diverse group of folks. So welcome everyone. Thank you for taking time out of your valuable weekend to spend a little bit of time with us here. And I think that you'll all be very happy that you did. And I didn't hear Michael mention the Midwest. I'm from Chicago, Illinois. So
my bad.
Represent the Midwest as well. And a little bit about my background. I have a background in higher education. I worked for a number of colleges and universities, started off as an admissions advisor, advising students much like yourself, helping them make decisions about what they're going to do with the next path, with their path or with the next step in their careers, and also as a director of admissions for a number of schools as well. So that's what led me to AI Camp. I love working with young people and helping them make these decisions. What we're going to do today, what the agenda is going to be is just talk a little bit about AI Camp. We'll talk about what we do. You'll get to meet a lot of our staff, some of our current students, previous students from camp, and learn about of course, the program and the scholarships, of course, that we have available to you. We've also carved out a bit of time for Q&A. And if you will look in the chat, you will have there's a link there where you can upvote any questions or topics that you might already see there, or enter any questions that you might have that you'd like to see answered today. So we do ask that you keep your systems muted and cameras on if possible. We'd love to see your smiling faces. And we'll start with, I'll give this back to Michael, where he can tell you a little bit about the history of AI Camp and what you can expect as a student with our summer program.
So guys, you can see the slides, what's on the left here. This is basically like after the final day of the summer camp, there are lots of students actually write their daily review or feedback. It's just so funny, to see, these, stories. There are people saying, I love AI Camp. There are people saying, for example, like AI Camp restored my faith in humanity. It's almost like they couldn't really, collaborate with people later on, after going through the AI Camp experience, they can. So that's awesome. The other one is, here is a product, like a demo. But we're going to talk a lot more about these things. So I'm just going to fast forward and talk about the history, why we started this whole thing. So this is actually a photo I took with one of our advisors, Taki Weitzman, who's a professor at Stanford here. And Taki is actually in the meeting today, and he will talk to you more about, why you absolutely should learn about AI. But to give you a little bit background why we started doing this, it's actually because I just felt like my own education after going through Caltech and Stanford, I don't know, for example, it really prepared me for the real world, that I was facing. And I was kind of reflecting, my own experiences. And I felt like there gotta be a bridge that before the college that needs to happen to help us to know what kind of careers are out there, how do we prepare for that? And who we should talk to, if we need a network. So that led us creating AI Camp. And our head instructor, Alex Duffy, will tell you a lot about how AI Camp experiences will help you prepare for the real life. Okay. A little bit more about AI Camp. So we have been in existence for a number of years, maybe 3 years or 4 years. We are founded by 2 Stanford PhDs, and then we have joined by another 2 co-founders, and now we're a small team, but we actually have thousands of students across the United States. This map you see here, can you guys like maybe guess like what this map actually means? Like you see the different county, they're color coded. If you know the answer, actually just raise your hand, and I can call your name. Ruben, what do you think, man?
Doesn't the higher amounts of blue mean that there is more people from there? So for example, California is very deep blue, so it has a lot of people, and the rest are more lighter versions of blue, so it has less people.
Can we give Ruben a round of applause? So thanks for providing that answer. You're very, very close. This is actually the number of people actually visiting AI Camp website. You see different county lines, they're color coded. This is actually a piece of data, right? It's the data visualization. And you can see what does this tell you? People across the country, they're interested in learning about AI. Do you see that? You haven't seen, for example, one county, like there are a few places, maybe in Yellowstone National Park, that you don't have anyone, but virtually everywhere else, people want to learn about AI, right? And this is also true in Australia. So funny enough, okay? Yeah, so AI Camp is actually built by top AI practitioners. We have people who founded like billion-dollar companies. We have people who have been in the industry, for tens of years. We have people who are just like so passionate, about education in general, right? And I just photoshopped there a few faces here, not the most elegant way to shout out to people, but I just want to say I'm also so grateful for them to join us, in this journey. The other thing I want to mention, do you guys see a lot of young faces here that I put here? Do you guys see that? Do you see Bernice? This is Bernice. This is David King. This is Jackson Choice. Rohan is in the audience today. These are the actually students who join AI Camp. They take care of our operation, marketing, design. Oh my gosh, whole bunch of stuff. They're doing this. So they are actually our internal team. Okay, so remember, the mission for AI Camp is preparing students for real life. We're doing that not only through our summer camp, but also we hire our best students because we think if they, for example, are gaining experiences through these real projects, I think that's a much better way to prepare them for real life. Okay, so you'll hear a lot about tech internships. For example, how do we actually train our best students and let them to work at top tech companies? So imagine you're only 16-year-old, you're working at a tech company before you go to college, and then you know where you wanted to, go afterwards. So for example, what kind of major you wanna major in college, right? And by the time you graduate, you may have 5 years professional experiences. Think about how much clarity you're gonna have for your life, right? Do you guys know what's the national figure in student debt? Type in the chat. How much do you think like students overall own in this country in terms of student debt? What do you think? Do you guys see like this trillion sign popping up? It's $1.7 trillion. This is second only to mortgage, right? Think about it. All the vehicles on the road, probably lots of them having automobile debts. But even all that money is less than the student debt that we have so far in this country. How many of you think that's a big problem? Raise your hand if you think that's a big problem. Okay, that's a big problem, right? Wait, stop raising hand. Now my screen is covered by these signs that somebody raised their hand. Okay, keep your hand up if you think that can be a personal problem for you as well. Is that a personal problem? That is a personal problem, right? Okay, you know what? I sort of the scene, all right. So now let's actually welcome our advisor, Tucky Wiseman. Tucky, are you there?
Hello.
Okay,
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm trying to find you. Oh, I see you now. I'm gonna highlight you.
It's
Okay,
hard with so many people, I know.
Yeah, I'm gonna highlight you. Hold on. Spotlight for everyone. Here we go.
Oh my God, I'm highlighted. That is so overwhelming. I'm not used to being seen in real time by so many wonderful, inspiring young people. So do you want me to talk a bit, or do you want me to answer questions?
I think so to give everybody's full context, Tucky is our advisor and he's a professor at Stanford, has been supported, for AI Camp right from the beginning. Maybe Tucky, you can talk a bit about like why, for example, artificial intelligence is something that young people need to learn, and maybe also talk a little bit about what do you see AI can do for us in the future?
Sure. So first I should say that artificial intelligence is this umbrella term that many different people from many different fields use in many different ways. And for me, it's about creating algorithms, like potentially writing code that allows our computers to do things that are either sort of very helpful for humans, or in some cases try to complement what humans are good at, or in some ways sometimes try to get inspiration from the ways in which humans do things to do things even better than humans. For me, one of the main current reasons why I'm so excited about AI, artificial intelligence, is to much of what I do, both sort of in academia and also a little bit in industry now, is try to compress the data that the world is amassing and trying to make all the the files, the photos, and the you know, a lot of the digital information that you guys are amassing individually, and that as humanity we're amassing because of our, you know, genomics and all our sensor data that we're capturing, and it's all coming onto the cloud. And you know, what is this cloud in the end? It's just a really big bunch of server farms that are, you know, being built now on this planet, and they need to be constantly maintained and cooled down. And this is all just to allow us to continue to accumulate and then use all this data for all the things that we want to do with it. And it's taking an increasing toll on the planet. And so what we're trying to do is represent this data way more effectively, more succinctly, and that's called like compression. Just like you can think of physical compression of taking the trash in your garbage cans and compressing it so that you can put more stuff into the same can. That's basically what we're currently doing with data. And the way in which we're doing it, in fact, is largely inspired by, I mean, the way in which we are basically improving on the ways in which people used to represent and compress data is we're trying to take a lot of inspiration from the ways in which humans represent and sort of communicate and then infer information. So humans actually are really, really good at succinct representation of information. And we can observe how humans, let's say, look at a photo and describe the photo to each other. And we can try then to do something similar with our algorithms. And that is a very concrete way in which artificial intelligence algorithms come in extremely handy for effective representation of our information. For example, in the example that I just gave for data compression. So I observe like firsthand in my work, both at Stanford and in industry, the ways in which artificial intelligence has dramatically improved our ability as a civilization to represent succinctly our data in ways that are allowing us to store and digitize more and more of it, and in ways that are also less heavy on our planet. So reducing our carbon footprint, in fact, thanks to these really effective artificial intelligence-based compressors. And so that's just maybe one example for ways in which artificial intelligence is useful for the world. And I also should say that you know, I had a bit of interaction with Michael, and I was so you guys probably know that there are all sorts of AI type programs and camps out there. To me, what distinguishes this one is that the few people so far here that I interacted with, and of course, first and foremost, the leader and visionary behind this program, Michael, who was not only an extremely talented PhD student at Stanford, and we had a bit of interaction then, but also his sort of vision and passion around transferring his knowledge is quite impressive and contagious. And I've seen him in action, and I've seen the ways in which he's able to distill the, you know, the essence of a lot of the stuff that we do and sometimes PhD students do, with a lot of fanfare, and it looks really complicated. And Michael has this ability to basically see through a lot of the hairy and irrelevant details and distill things to their very essence in ways that he can then communicate very clearly to people that don't have a lot of a background, and in ways that then empower them to actually kind of understand the principles and then build on that understanding some very concrete and useful systems. So you guys are really in for a treat, and not only enjoyable, but also extremely useful and actionable.
I so appreciate that, Tucky. That was a surprising, shout out to me, but definitely, yeah, so appreciative that you spend time here. I have to ask you one thing though. I was looking at your background. We have big Lebowski, we have the element table, we have your kids and photos. That's like a really, really cool collection you got there.
Thank you. I think it represents a lot of my life, both personally and professionally. Yeah, you're seeing a photo of my middle son, who's now actually a high school senior, and that's when he was a few months old with his mom.
Oh.
You're seeing the Big Lebowski, so the dude.
The dude, that's right.
Those who have seen the movie know that the main protagonist is the dude, and the dude is actually also an algorithm that I've developed. It's called it stands for discrete universal denoiser, and it's also actually some manifestation of artificial intelligence. And then the periodic table, to me as an information scientist, is just the alphabet of our physical world. Of everything around us in the end, right, is made of these combinations of atoms, and it's the basis for our physical world. It's the basis for all our computers. And so recently we're also thinking about, and that's another actually place where artificial intelligence will it has already started to play a key role, and will increasingly be playing an even more substantial role in the context of our current storage technologies are reaching a point of stagnation in terms of the so-called Moore's law. So some of you guys have heard of Moore's law, which basically tells you that sort of the density with which we can store and represent our information, let's say on our storage devices, is increasing by a factor of about 2 every 2 years. And that's actually already not true, unfortunately, even though we continue to amass all our data as if it were, it's not. And what we're working on, among other things, is finding new ways to store and represent our data. And we're doing that, for example, in DNA molecules. So you actually write the bits of information into, you synthesize a DNA molecule to represent this data. And the way in which you synthesize it is, we won't go into it, but it's prone, it has a lot of noise, a lot of errors, both in terms of the way you synthesize, and then also the way in which you read the data. Our current technologies are very imperfect, and they introduce a lot of noise. And so artificial intelligence now is playing a role in how to write, and then also how to read the data in ways that, even though there are all these imperfections and sources of noise, you can recover the information essentially error-free. And so how you do that is something that computers are now learning to do much better than us humans. And that's another sort of place in which AI will be playing an important role.
Mhm. That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. So can we give a talk here? Round of applause, guys. You know, thanking for the fact that he's, you know, here and talking, you know, to the future about AI. This is awesome. All right.
Thank
So
you so
now,
much, guys.
yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So now I'm actually going to give the stage to our head of product, Alex Duffy. Alex, do you want to take away? I can share a screen if you wanted me to.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind sharing.
buy me a computer?
I think if you wouldn't mind muting, I think Abel, we've got you. You're off mute here. Thank you. Awesome. Hey everybody. My name is Alex. I am our head of product here at AI Camp. I'm going to talk to you guys a bit about what you can expect as part of AI Camp this summer, and some of the things that I think really set us apart as well. You know, first things first. Something that I think about a lot as head of product is this statement here that you know, Mike mentioned. Our mission is, you know, making sure that we're preparing students for the future. You know, one thing we think a lot about here is that we are only as great as the doors that we open. And what does that mean? That means that really our goal here is our students learn skills that become tools in their toolkit that they can use to solve problems that are important to them. You know, we're not covering any topic from A to Z. We're very much so focused on trying to identify, to work on solving problems that students find important. And those important problems are different for everyone. You know, last year I had a student who asked me during class, you know, I want to be an actor. Why do I care about machine learning? And I asked the same question to my students that I'm asking you guys now. How do you think AI could help an actor or an actress, someone who wanted to be an actor or actress? Any ideas? Deepfakes, sure. Yeah, deepfakes, like machine learning to bring back an actor from the dead. You know, people have like used that for CGI. Sure. An idea that my student had last year was they'd be able to, you know, speak a line to an AI, and the AI could speak the next line back to them, so they could practice on their own. They're just, you know, we just saw about 30 different ideas on how AI can be used for an actor. That's awesome. The reason why that's important is because we think that when you get why you're learning something, why you're working on something, and it's interesting to you, that's where the real learning happens. And so, you know, Mike, you can go to the next slide.
Yes, sir.
And, you know, getting into the kind of the details around summer. Before summer starts, we're going to send out a survey to get to know you, your goals. If you have prior experience, I've seen in the chat, you know, some people have already coded in some language or not at all. Totally okay if it's not at all. The reason why this survey is important is because we will group you based on your responses onto complementary teams. And so what the summer looks like is these teams are made up of 6 students, and they have their own mentor who is an undergrad, master's, or PhD student that's studying data science or machine learning. And then these teams will learn and struggle together to build a website that showcases a machine learning product that solves a real world problem that they find interesting or important. Last year, 100% of our groups deployed their websites successfully at the end of 3 weeks. That was amazing. We had some really awesome projects. We had some that identified the start of a forest fire, or was able to separate trash from recycling, or we even had one that learned how to tweet on its own by training on tweets from celebrities. You can check them out on our student product, some of them out at our student products page that Mike's showing now. But going through this project and doing this hands-on learning, our students learn a lot. They learn Python fundamentals, they learn about data science and machine learning, they learn about entrepreneurship, but really what I think the most important thing that they learn is how to learn on their own. Like, we really encourage students to ask a lot of questions, but not only that, but then to seek out the answers to their questions and then share with the group what they found out, so that we can learn collectively and make progress a lot faster because we have more people working on the same problems, and sharing the things that they learned, the blockers that they faced and how they overcame. We really stress that there's a lot of power in the resources that you guys already have at your disposal on an everyday basis, like online tutorials and articles, YouTube walkthroughs, sites like Stack Overflow, where coding questions have been asked and answered for years. Summer is awesome because you come in, you have a team of 6, and you can build something really special. How far you take that and what role you play in that building is up to you. But regardless, summer is really just the start. And Mike, if you go to the next slide, just want to talk a bit about kind of like after the camp. Like, so after the camp, our students, they'll have all had an awesome project that they can put on their resume, and they can talk through, how they built it. They'll know the steps of making a machine learning model, and they'll know how to make it their own website and how to deploy it. They might not memorize all the steps, along the way, but they'll know where they can go look up, answers to how they could do it again. But it doesn't start there. Yes, just got a question. Is there a Discord for this program? Yes, everyone that comes in will join our AI Camp Discord. That's where it's kind of like the big chat room if you haven't used it before, with channels. That's where we teach in the summer. That's where our students can talk with our instructors. But not only that, that's where students have continued to talk. We've got about 1,000 students and teachers in there now. They talk about new AI and tech news. Students ask questions about college or jobs or homework. Mike's sharing it now. We've got bots that our students have created in there. I really love spending time in our Discord. But that's the first step. Everyone is welcome to our Discord. After that, like, second is our Team Tomorrow program that we're really excited about. And going back to kind of opening those doors, our focus this past year has been going past summer camp and finding ways to get high school students real world experience. So, we'll put on incubators and hackathons that our summer students can join. And those who really set them apart there, we've actually offered paid positions on our paid Team Tomorrow. Like, currently we have about 35 student designers and developers who are working for us internally and even on some external contracts too. So before I get too deep into that, just talking a little bit about the future, I'm going to turn it over to one of those amazing developers, Alex Fry. I've been really lucky to see Alex grow from being a camper in my session during summer, and then throughout these past 6 months really grow to become a leader on our paid Team Tomorrow team, and has been an invaluable addition to our team internally. So I'll turn it over to Alex to talk a little bit about it.
Before we do that, let me ask you guys, was that an engaging session? That was very good, don't you think? Right? Thumbs up, thumbs down. What do you think? Was that engaging? Was that good? What do you think? Thumbs up. Can we give Alex a round of applause? Thank you, sir, for going through that, right? Awesome presentation. All right. Alex, you're there?
Yes.
Right.
Okay, so hi guys, I'm Alex Fry, and like Alex Duffy said, I'm a software developer on Team Tomorrow. And just a little bit about myself. So I'm a high school senior at the moment, and I learned about this camp through last year during my junior year through one of my school administrators. And I was like, oh wow, this sounds really cool. So I decided to apply for the scholarship, and I ended up doing the summer camp that summer. And I just first of all have to say, it was probably one of the most valuable learning experiences I've really ever had. What's really great about it is half the time you're learning about basics of like data systems and Python, which you'll mainly be using to create your products, as well as basis of like machine learning. And I did the natural language processing section. So specific things, learning like those type of things for like the first half of the day. And then you'll get to work with your team of 6 to start making ideas and creating your final product that is really cool and will be released onto that student products website, which has been in the chat. And my team specifically, we created a book recommender actually. And it's really cool because you can put in like what books you've read, and it uses AI to come up with similar books that you might like to read. So that's just something specific that we did that might be really cool, and you guys will be able to come up with your own ideas. And also what's really cool is, yes, you're learning those technical skills like, Python and then all of those AI basics, but it's also about learning communication and leadership and teamwork, because really you can't do this without a team. It's very much, to be able to create this awesome product, you need the people who do the front end to be able to make the product look visually appealing and be able to show it. So those people are doing the HTML and the CSS and stuff like that. And then you also have the people doing the back end work, which involves the coding and doing the data science stuff, like the pre-processing the data that you'll get and creating the model that will eventually be your AI that's released on the product. And so it's something I have really enjoyed this experience. And I've actually, with my hard work, I was able to join Team Tomorrow, and I've learned even more there than I learned in summer camp. You learn a lot in the summer camp, which I have to say, you learn so much, and it's been really cool to expand my knowledge in Team Tomorrow and doing stuff more for the internal team for the company. And so I just have to say that I'm so, first of all, I'm just like so excited that I'm seeing like 455 people here. Like that is amazing that all of you are so like interested. This is definitely a great experience, and I'm just so happy because it's made me become more of a self-learner and more of a proactive person and be more outgoing, and I actually feel like I can present better as well. Like there's just so many benefits to doing this camp, and at the end of it you have a really cool AI product that looks really good on a resume, and it's something that I'm just so happy with this experience. And
yeah,
I think that's all I have to say.
I'm always impressed with Alex's like energy and optimism and just how positive she is. Can we give a round of applause? Thank you for sharing your experiences. Thank you so much for doing that. Come on, guys, give her a round of applause. Thank you very much. Okay, so now I'm going to turn the table to Mitch. Mitch is actually a data science instructor as well as a fellow for us. He has gone through the college experience of majoring in computer science. Maybe we can have Mitch reflecting a bit about AI camp and his own educational experiences, and talk a bit about the comparison, etc. Yeah, Mitch, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. All right, hi everybody. Super nice to meet you. Very stoked to be here, and just awesome to see all these people that I might be hanging out with this summer. It's a really good time, and so just appreciate you being here. To tell you about myself, I have an undergraduate degree in computer science and data science. I studied at the Colorado School of Mines, and I just have a big heart for education. So kind of why I came to AI Camp was because it combines, my passion in education with my skill set in machine learning and data science. And so I just get this awesome opportunity to work on these amazing products that I actually would use in real life with committed students who are like excited to build something that matters to them. And so I know that you all will have had some great ideas when we talked about acting. When Alex mentioned that question, like I just saw in the chat just a flood of incredible ideas. And so I want you to bring your passions to camp, and like I want to really realize something that you want to build. And so I guess to talk to you guys, another reason why I joined AI Camp is because it addresses some problems that I faced during my traditional education that like really stood out to me. And so I kind of wanted to tell you guys the story of my education and how AI Camp really supplements A, your education, and B, your ability to be successful in the workforce. So I guess like to tell you guys about college. When I came to college to start my undergraduate degree, I went to a STEM school and I'd never written a line of code. But I knew that going to a STEM school, I had to choose between computer science and data science, or computer science and math. And so can anyone in the chat maybe say something problematic about starting a computer science degree with never writing a line of code? Great. How do you know you like coding if you've never done it before? Exactly. You have no experience. So on my end, that's super scary and stressful for starters. Secondly, my first semester, maybe I'm spending $10,000 or $25,000. And so on my end, definitely AI Camp would have solved this issue for me, because in the first few days of camp, I would have known Python. I would have known enough Python to be dangerous and build an incredible product. Secondly, in an extension to this issue, I had no idea what the job prospects were. I don't know what a day in the life would look like. And I don't really know what I would be doing at a desk, or whether I would be at a desk, whether it be talking to people or not. And so at camp, like this experiential learning model, what's really cool about it is we bring in guest speakers and we provide you all these opportunities to try different CS and AI and ML positions. And you'll have opportunities all around the stack to work on different technical parts of the project. And so on my end, this would have answered questions that I had until I was a junior in college. Speaking about questions I had when I was a junior in college, I didn't encounter a single AI topic in my curriculum until I was a junior in college. So a lot of these STEM schools and a lot of colleges are going to make you get through prerequisites to get to, the real meat of what your curriculum is. And so the thing is, I didn't even know if I liked it yet, and I had to go through a lot of coursework to be able to get there. And so this 3 weeks in the summer is really rewarding because naturally you don't have to go through 60 credits and tens of thousands to hundreds of $1,000s of education to even to find out if you like computer science, AI, machine learning, or data science, or if it's maybe just something that is rewarding, like just a summer camp. If it's just going to be that for you, that's okay too. But making the investment now is a lot better than going to school for a few years and having to bite down and potentially be a few years into a degree you don't like. I got lucky. I love what I do. My heart is here. I've had the best time, and so that's always good. I guess finally, kind of what I wanted to touch on is I think kind of how we learn in school. So I've learned at AI Camp that collaborative and project-based learning is by far the most productive way to learn, and it's best done outside of a formal classroom environment. So Michael, you can switch to the next slide, or 15, I think. So a lot of the thing is recruiters place a heavy weight on, how many projects you have and basically how much work you've done and work experience you have. And so on our end, because there's a competitive market, naturally 53% of new graduates are without a job 3 months post-graduation. These skills that we're learning here and having projects on your resume already give you a leg up. And naturally, we also provide internship opportunities and employment opportunities for the best students here to be able to land a job. Some of our students are already working with companies in industry. And so I just wanted to say that gives you a leg up on, everything you need to know for college. It gives you a leg up on what you want to know for your career. And it also gives you the opportunity to build real skills for your resume that people care about. You're not just sitting there in a classroom and kind of trying to absorb and regurgitate information. You're building amazing products. So definitely why I love it. So
yeah. I think Mitch did such a great job, in selling AI Camp. I want to ask you guys a question. How many of you is hey, I'm ready to join this. This is such a beneficial thing for me. Raise your hand if that's the case for you. Got quite a few people. Oh my gosh, my screen. Okay, there's people annotating also. Okay, good enough. Let's do the following. We have more stuff to talk about. I forgot about it. So that is, we need to give Mitch a round of applause. Thank you for sharing your personal experiences. You did quite a great job in reflecting your own experiences and see how AI Camp can benefit our future generation. And now you're working towards to improving that. Really, really awesome. Thank you so much. Wow, the chat messages coming are just overwhelming. There's a lot of people typing. Thank you. Yeah, that's awesome. All right. Okay. Pierre, are you there?
Yep, I'm right here.
Okay, Pierre and Caroline. Okay, so Pierre, can you introduce yourself? Talk about what is Team Tomorrow. And Caroline, welcome again. Great to see you. Please speak about your experiences.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm Pierre Carre. I am 16 years old, and I can say that I'm a software developer, one of the software developers on Team Tomorrow at AI Camp. It's pretty crazy. I was at one of these info sessions about a year ago, trying to figure out if I was going to attend the camp, and I did. It was an incredible experience, as Alex mentioned. I got to go to the incubator internship after the program, where me and a team of other teenage developers designed a project over 10 weeks. And at the end of that, I was finally able to join AI Camp at a paid position. Right now, I'm being contracted out to a group of NFT traders. I'm designing tools for them to help them make better decisions on their investments. Every single week, we have customer meetings where we talk directly to our users. We discuss progress made. We try to think of future projects for us. And what I particularly enjoy about the experience is that it is a completely professional environment. I am learning professional skills in both coding, programming, but also in other things like communicating and presenting and organizing. But AI Camp and Team Tomorrow also provide flexibility. I'm in high school at the same time, so if I need to take a week or two off to concentrate on tests or to concentrate on college apps, I can always do that. And it also provides this great community of people who can support me. I can always reach out to older developers for any ideas, such as Jackson. He was actually one of the people who inspired me. They presented Jackson at the info session I went to, and I thought I'd really like to be in the same position. And eventually, here I am. And yeah, it's pretty incredible. But once I get into college, I'm going to be able to say that I have 2 years of professional work experience already.
And when you graduate, you have how many?
Around 6. It's
Oh
pretty
my
incredible.
gosh. That's mind-boggling. Yeah, great. Caroline, can you share a few thoughts?
Sure. I'm going to echo pretty much what Pierre said, but it's funny because a year ago we were, at that same meeting, but we were just looking for an excellent summer camp for Pierre, who was already into computer science. So we came to the meeting, and then we realized, like I'm sure a lot of students and parents realize right now, that there's something else to AI summer camp and AI camp in general. And that was the will to prepare the students to real life. And we thought it was really interesting. And so, a few months down the line, I think Pierre explained all of his accomplishments thanks to AI camp. And basically, so what started as summer camp has now turned into an actual pre-professional experience in the real world, and just allowing Pierre to acquire absolutely invaluable experience at the age of 16. So maybe just to conclude, it is an investment, both financial and in time, to go to the camp initially. But it has now offered Pierre an invaluable bridge to the real world, and we're very thankful.
Yeah, awesome. Can we give Pierre and his mom, Caroline, a round of applause? Thank you for sharing your experiences. I want to ask the audience one question. How many of you thought you can actually learn AI now in our AI summer camp? Raise your hand if you think you can learn AI now. Yeah. Okay. Great. Sounds like we convinced you. How many of you think you want to get some professional experiences before you go to college, before you pay $50,000 a year for tuition? How many of you? And do you also get the sense that you need to use data to make decisions? Gaining experiences, looking at how much they will pay, looking at how much tuition I need to pay before I embark on this, 4-year journey to get a degree. All right. All these important questions, all these important stuff we'll teach you in the summer. Can't wait, for it to happen. Yeah. So as you can see, our impact on students, I think is enormous. So I definitely want to encourage you to do anything you possible, right, to get into AI camp. So whether it's about submitting one scholarship, writing, good answers on the scholarship, or for example, just, reach out if you need help and things like that, and we will basically help you to get there. Okay. I want to cover also just some details. There's a lot of misconceptions about AI camp. But a typical day is from 10 o'clock in the morning to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. In the morning, we basically learn concepts together. Sometimes there are lectures, sometimes there are interactive presentations. And noon, we have guest speakers coming to talk about various careers in data or what's going on inside a company, right? In the afternoon, that's where the majority of the time you're going to spend on coding. So you're going to group together with your 5 other students with one instructor. We're going to go through essentially coding together and creating these AI products. Right. Sydney, do you want to take away for the logistics piece?
Absolutely, sure. So what are the next steps? I'm seeing a lot of questions about tuition and what the fees are, and we'd like to cover that with you. So in order for you to take advantage of this opportunity, you will have to submit a $249 deposit. That is a refundable deposit, fully refundable. That secures a spot for you in the camp. The total cost of the tuition outside of, without any scholarships, without any deposit, would be $2,349 total. Minus the $249 deposit leaves a balance of $1,549 if you receive the partial scholarship. So our partial scholarships are $800. We do offer full and partial scholarships. So assuming that you get the scholarship, you would have a balance of $1,549. If you do not receive the scholarship, the total cost is $2,349 minus the $249 deposit. So we suggest, as you can see, this is an overwhelming response. This is the largest group that we've had for an info session. So we do recommend that you would secure your spot right away with that refundable deposit. And then the balance for your tuition, whether you receive the scholarship or not, would be due on the 26th of March. And I think now would be a good time for us to start fielding some of those questions. We've got a ton of questions here. I'm going to hand things over to our co-founder, Richard, who's going to be manning the Q&A lines here, and the entire team will jump in if it's a question that's relevant to each individual person.
I just want to make sure also we emphasize this point, that is the scholarship will be announced on March 16th, which is this coming Wednesday at 4 p.m. So if you wanted to join us, definitely watch out the email coming at you this Wednesday at 4 p.m. Okay, let me repeat. This Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific time, scholarship will be announced. We have limited spots, and if you want to join us, reserve right away once you see that you can. Okay, and all right, so let's go to the Q&A part.
All right, can people hear me?
Yep.
All right, Mike, can you enable sharing so I can share the retro screen?
Okay. Oops. Go ahead.
Okay, cool. Thank you. All right, hi everyone. So there was tons of questions, and we're gonna go by order of votes. And what we have to try to do is try to answer as many questions as possible inside the board that we have here. And you can actually see some of the answers through the comments, but we're gonna go with the first one. And this is like, we had 53 votes for this one. Okay, so if something happens with the camp, are you able to change which batch you are in? If something conflicts, yes, you can change your batch session, or maybe you selected the wrong time session. That is all possible. Of course, it will be a request, and we just have to double check to make sure that there's enough spots in the respective batches that you're transferring into. And so you'll have to, before a certain date, it is most likely you'll get into it, but after a certain period of time, we'll have to verify if this is possible or not, okay? So that was the first question. And okay, second question. How much is the program after the partial scholarship? Again, I think Sydney went over that. And if you look at it, the full cost of the tuition is $2,349. after you place a deposit is $249. And if you did get a partial scholarship, which is around $800, the remaining to be collected after that point will be $1,349. Prior to the scholarship, the whole value will be $1,500, not $1,349. It's $1,300 actually. I apologize. When will we know if we get accepted for the scholarship? Again, Michael reiterated this just recently, so it's important that Mike, was it March 15th, I believe, or was it the Wednesday before that?
16th, 4 p.m. Wednesday, 4 p.m. Next Wednesday, 4 p.m.
Next Wednesday, 4 p.m. So I will write that there.
4 p.m. Pacific time. You definitely want to watch out the email coming out your inbox.
Okay, is the summer camp online or in person? If you haven't figured it out by now, just to reconfirm, it is online, okay? Next question, does filling out the scholar application form reserve our spot even if we don't get it, or do we have to fill out a separate form? That's a very good question. So the scholarship application does not automatically reserve a spot. Once you're awarded a scholarship, you'll be redirected by that email at that time, like what Mike said, March 16th at 4 p.m. PST, email will be sent out. It will redirect you to a link where you can place a deposit. Once you place that deposit, that will reserve a spot, okay? How can I access the information of the meeting later? This meeting is recorded, so after when this is adjourned, we will send out the recording as well the slide decks for your reference. And this question answer board will still be available for if you want to check out other questions people may have asked and if we have answered them or not. And if you have additional questions, you can reach us at hello@ai-camp.org. This is another question. How do you put students into groups? This is pretty important. Obviously, we cannot put someone who is much older with someone who's really young. There is a disparity in how people think and also ability. So what we'll be sending out is a questionnaire that will ask about students' ability, students' preferences, and based on how they respond to that, we will try to group them as best as possible. Some of those preferences that they select is what we try to go by it, but depending on how we allocate, that may not be guaranteed, but by ability and by age is important. So when you get that questionnaire, it's very important that you fill it out as soon as possible so we can start organizing your students into appropriate groups, okay? What percentage of people and how many people get scholarship? Mike, I might need your help on this one. So I know that for full scholarships, we award about 10 to 20% of that full scholarships. So actually, so those people get to attend AI camp for free. But then for partial scholarships, there's a large number of people that are awarded scholarships, but not all of them necessarily attend. But I would say over half of the population that we actually do finally attend our camps are on some form of partial scholarship.
Yeah, so
Python. Oh, yeah.
I also wanted to make sure that we're consistent. We said 70% applicants will get scholarship. That's actually very true. So basically, like if you spend some time putting into good answer, to the questions that we ask you, you are responsible for the answers. We're responsible for your education. So we'll basically take you in. Just make sure that you submit a good application. It should be all good. Yeah.
Yeah. Like for example, Michael and I have read through a lot of applications, probably more than 3,000 in our whole lifetime, probably more than that. And we've read really impressive responses. So we have a bit of a high bar in what we expect in those applications. Okay, so the next question here, is Python the primary language that is going to be used, or are other programming language involved, possibly low level? So yes, Python is the primary language that is going to be used, primarily for the reason it is the most widely popular and probably the in our opinion, the more easier object-oriented language to understand. Will we possibly dive into other types of languages? Yes, there will be an opportunity to work with HTML, CSS, different packages such as Bootstrap. You may need to know how to work with Unix or Linux command line interfaces. As for C#, C++, Java, we don't touch that in our programs, but it's certainly something that you guys may be interested in if your group is advanced enough. At times we do play with JavaScript as well for our web product. Does my student need to know Python to take this program? So you don't necessarily need to know Python to take this program, but it is highly recommended that if you do have time to spend some time trying to learn some of the basic aspects of Python. Why do we say this? Is that once you hit the ground running, you're not starting from ground zero. Although we do have students starting from ground zero, but that does reduce the amount that you can achieve towards the end. Everyone still makes a product, but how complex and how much you can do and how much you learn is how far that group is starting with. If something comes up and make the camp, are there refunds? Yes. So I believe when you place a deposit, those are fully refundable. I forget up to which date they're fully refundable. After a certain date, the deposits aren't fully refundable, but the remaining tuition that was collected are refundable. What date does the camp start and end? That was answered previously. If you look at a previous, I believe it was answered, but we have 4 sessions. We have A, B, C, and D, and they both start at different times and they end at different times. They're all in sequence. So if you look at the website under summer, virtual summer, or summer on our AI Camp website, it will list the 4 batches that we also listed here. We have 1 session fully in June, 1 that spans between June and July, another from July to August, and 1 fully in August. Okay. Will there be potential outreach opportunities after the program?
Richard, I think we're a bit over time.
Okay, sorry.
I think for these, we already answered like 20 questions.
Okay.
I don't think we can answer them all. Lots of these questions, actually, if you just go to our website, you will find all the answers, right? And read all the emails we send to you, you'll find all the answers. I want to say the following. So when you look at, for example, what's the most important thing, right? What's the most important thing right after this? Is in fact, can you guys see my screen? The most important thing is making sure you watch your email on the scholarship announcement, right? So it's next Wednesday, 4 p.m. Set up an alarm like somewhere and remind yourself, check your email, because that's the time where we release the scholarship, and you want to be ready, to essentially reserve your spot. Okay, and regardless whether you get in or not, you need to learn a bit about programming. It's just such an interesting field. I highly recommend you go to learnpython.org. Okay, learnpython.org. There are a whole bunch of like interactive tutorials out there. You can do it. The internet is the most abundant free learning resources out there. If we are not taking advantage of it, right, then you're not doing personalized learning. Then you are confined by your school and by the textbook that you were distributed to, right? So making sure that you can learn all these things on your own, as Alex was talking about, right? As 2 Alexes, right? And Mitch, it's incredibly important to do that. Okay. So I want to say thank you for attending this session. I want to say, to all our speakers, Taki, Alex, and 2 Alexes, Mitch, Richard, right? Thank you for basically like putting this whole thing together. Thank you, Sydney, especially. Can we give Sydney a round of applause, guys? Can you guys believe it? Sydney is, owning here for about 2 weeks, I think just 2 weeks. And now she's organizing essentially the biggest events that we ever had, right? And also I want to say thank you for parents, for students, for applicants who are joining, today. Really appreciate, we have this conversation. So I'm going to drop my my email here. My email is michael@ai-camp.org. If you have any questions, send me an email, right? I will take the time and answer all your questions. Actually, don't send to me, because if you send to me, I might actually like send to Hello, because we got a team there. Maybe our team will help you to get there. Okay, send to Hello. Yeah. Yeah. Again, this is a beautiful Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon for some of you. Really appreciate that you come. Hopefully, you see this summer. Let me ask you one more time. When the scholarship results will be announced?
Wednesday.
Wednesday when? Wednesday 4 p.m. Wednesday 4 p.m. Okay? Put a mark on your calendar. Just watch out on our emails. Sounds good? Really hope to see you in the summer. I know many of you here who would be awesome, like students for us, who would be incredible working at other companies. Really hope to see you in the summer. Okay? All right, guys. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye for now. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
No problem. No problem. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Everyone
Thank
have
you.
a good
I learned so much, man. Thank you.
Yeah, Ruben's great, man.
I just have one question. One question.
You stay. You got.
Thank
questions,
you.
stay. I can answer. Yeah.
So, are we gonna learn like different languages like Lua?
You will learn Python mostly, but then like the front end is like HTML and CSS, JavaScript, so you'll learn that as well. And then you're gonna learn a lot about command line. But the most important thing is actually learn how to learn all these things, right? So language is actually not that important. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I see. All right. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions?
Have a good day.
Yeah.
Michael,
so
the
much.
question is Wednesday 4 p.m. of EST, CST, PST, which
PST.
Oh,
Wednesday,
okay.
4
Thank you.
p.m. PST. Yeah.
Oh, Michael.
Yes, ma'am.
So I haven't yet applied for the. I haven't yet applied the camp, but just applied for the scholarship. Should I wait for the scholarship result?
Yeah, just wait for scholarship results. You don't need to apply for the campaign anymore.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Come on, guys. Ask me all the questions. If you don't have questions, I'll see you in the summer, right? So you're welcome to leave.
Hello?
Yeah.
I have a question. Requirements that you need to apply for the scholarship?
Can you say it one more time? I couldn't hear you.
Are there any requirements that you need to apply for the scholarship?
Not really, as long as your age is between 13 and 18.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
Okay.
So do you know where I can find a recording for this meeting?
I'll send you the recording. We send everybody recording.
Okay. And when is there another meeting?
If you reserve, there's one that we're going to talk about team tomorrow, specifically on March 19th.
March 19th. So 10 o'clock to 11.
That's right.
Okay.
Hey, Michael, quick question. You just mentioned that if you apply to scholarship, you don't need to apply to the program, but I think somebody earlier mentioned that those are two separate applications and we need to do both.
No. You don't need to do both. You just need to do a scholarship application. That's it.
Okay, so I did both for my son, so I'm assuming that's still okay, right?
Yeah, that's.
So I did the registration first, and then I went and did the scholarship application.
Yeah, don't worry about it. You applied for scholarship. That's all you need to do.
Okay, sounds good.
So hi, Mike.
Yes, Ella.
So if I don't get any scholarship, and then I go ahead and apply for the camp, is it that I will still get the early bird discount 19 something? 19
Yeah,
something?
before March 31st.
Oh, so I'm 13 years old. Is it too young? Because
No.
when I look at your video, so all the presenter are high school kids.
We actually have about 15 people who are in middle school and or who are already reserved. So we will come up with something for them to learn during the summer. So don't worry about that.
So you will group the middle school
Yep.
kids together?
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, small batch though, owning 3 batches. Yeah.
Hey, Michael, does your questionnaire cover the expertise level of programming experience they have? Like, for example, my son has done some programming on Python from Code Academy, but he has just the basic. So does the questionnaire cover that, or?
Yeah, so basically, like, our survey will making sure our survey essentially will you know, as I said, before the summer happens, we're going to send you a survey. During that survey, we're going to assess your levels. So, you know, you can see there are hundreds of people here, probably thousands of people here. So don't worry about it. We're going to place you into the right level.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Hi, I had a question about when the last date to cancel was, because I have some other programs during the summer. I haven't gotten acceptance from that yet.
Yeah.
But
I would say if you go to other programs than this one, you're making a big mistake. But the last day is May 1st.
I don't know the dates for that yet. So
oh, okay.
If I were to like cancel this or cancel the other ones, like when would the last date to cancel this be? Without like if I already paid without
1st.
getting any penalties, like when would the full refund? Is there any full refund for like the $2,000?
Full refund until May 1st.
For the $2,000?
That's right.
Okay. Thank you.
Hey, Michael.
Yes, Nachi.
What is the last date for that non-refundable $249?
May 1st.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. And another question is like, on what basis I don't know if I can ask this, but like, on what basis the scholarship is being given to the student? Do you look at like experience on the computer programming?
No, we don't. So we just look at the essay questions, your income status, etc.
Okay, thanks.
We still have 39 people here. That's incredible. This is like an hour and a half.
Michael, I have a question.
Yeah.
If you already applied for the scholarship, and there was mention about the reserve the spot, we still need to do that or not really?
If you get a partial scholarship, you would still have to reserve it. Full scholarship, you just like, there's a form you go through, you claim it, that's pretty much it. So.
Okay, after what we just basically apply, they're gonna receive an additional information saying that you need to complete a different application, or what's just the really basic thing that we did for a scholarship?
Yeah, so you just need to wait until like this Wednesday.
The Wednesday. Okay. So
Wednesday,
basically that is when we're gonna be able to have the next move, basically, to figure it out what's the best way to do it.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right.
Okay. All right. Okay, because I was a bit confused. Okay, thank you so much.
Hey, no problem.
We really appreciate what you do for kids like my son. He really love computers, and then from there, hopefully we'll be able to do this. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, thank you very much for listening.
Hi, Michael. This is Saman. I have a question. I joined late and I missed some part of the meeting.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you would be sharing a recording with us so that I can go over the part that I missed.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, we got you.
Pardon me, if I may. Earlier you had a speaker, I believe his name was Pierre. He received an internship. What % of participants in this AI camp would receive a scholarship similar to the one Pierre received?
Pierre never got a scholarship. Pierre actually participated.
Sorry, I believe I misspoke. I meant to say internship. My bad.
Oh, okay. Internship really just depends on how good you are, but historically it's like 10%.
All right then. Thank you.
But we don't know. Like once you participate, when you are recommended, then we know.
I see.
Yeah, so we don't know, but like historical data is about 10%.
All right. Thank you so much.
Hey, no problem, Andrew.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
My dad's asking if it's online on Zoom or like in person.
It's online.
Okay.
Where are you, Denzel? Where are you at?
I'm in California,
Which city?
Oakland.
Oakland. Oh, you're not far away. We're at Fremont, actually. Fremont and Palo Alto.
Oh.
Yeah. But you know, like you can see students coming from all over the place.
Yeah.
There's no way, right?
All right, thank you. Bye.
Okay. I think that's it. Thanks for staying on. You know what? I'm just excited, you know, to do this with you guys. And yeah, so hopefully I see you in the summer. And I want to say one more time, thank you everyone who supported this whole thing. You know, Sydney, Mason, Alex, right? And Yishan, Kai, you guys are just, you know, essentially in there answering a lot of questions. Really appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. I actually have some experience, so I want to make the most use of my opportunity here in AI Camp, and I'm extremely, you know, quite ambitious of the future. AI is one of my goals for my future endeavors, and so I very much want to pursue that in the future, and hopefully with the scholarship and everything.
Watch out for you, man. Yeah.
Oh, I love your energy, Sakai.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Awesome.
Thank you so much.
All right. This whole thing gave me so much energy, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. All right.
Wonderful
I have
day.
to I have to end this meeting and Wednesday 4 p.m. PST. Okay. And see you guys soon in the summer.
You guys this summer.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Great job, presenters.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.